Before the sun clears the horizon, I lift my head because the quiet has changed. The air is cool against my nostrils. It carries the scent of hay, damp earth, and the faint trace of other horses nearby. My ears turn first, one at a time, listening past the walls that shelter me. A small rustle, a distant call, a footstep that pauses, then continues. I do not need to see to understand. Sound and smell arrive before light. I shift my weight from one hoof to the other and feel the ground beneath me. Solid, familiar. My body has been standing through the night in a half-rest, one hind leg relaxed, the other supporting me. It is how I sleep in short pieces. Even in safety, I remain ready. That is the shape of my kind. I breathe out slowly and touch my muzzle to the door. Cold wood. A faint draft. Outside holds the open world, and my instincts measure it with every breath. I am a grazing animal. I am made to watch for what I cannot fight. My safety begins with attention. The first pale light arrives, and with it, the sounds of morning, a latch, a quiet voice, the steady approach of the human who brings food and water. I recognize the rhythm of those steps. Predictability matters. When the pattern is familiar, I can loosen the tightness in my chest. The door opens, air flows in fresh and clean. I step forward but do not rush. I lower my head slightly and sniff. My nose reads what the eyes cannot. No threat, no sudden change, only the scent of hay and grain and the soft dust of bedding. Food is placed before me. I begin with hay because my body is built for it. Fiber keeps my digestion moving. My jaw works in slow, steady circles. Chewing is not just eating, it is time, it is calm, it is the rhythm that keeps my stomach quiet. Between mouthfuls, I pause, listening. My ears keep turning, searching the edges of the world. Even while I feed, part of me remains outside the moment, scanning for movement, ready to lift my head if something changes. When I drink, I do it deeply. Water cools my mouth and settles in my belly. I swallow, then breathe out again, and feel the day begin inside me. Soon I am led out. The ground outside is firm, then soft, then firm again as my hooves find the familiar path. Each step sends small vibrations up my legs. The air is wider here. The scents are layered: grass, soil, sun-warmed fence wood, the distant trace of another animal that passed earlier. I enter the open space and stop. Open land is both comfort and risk. In open land, I can see farther. In open land, predators once came from a distance that became suddenly near. My body still remembers that truth. I lift my head high. My eyes are set wide on my skull for a reason. I see across the field, left and right, scanning. My nostrils flare. My tail hangs loose. I listen. Then I graze. Grass is my work and my peace. I lower my head and tear it with my lips, pulling it free with a practiced motion. I chew slowly, letting the taste spread. The sun rises higher, warming my back. Flies begin to appear, and my skin twitches where they land. My tail swishes in long, controlled arcs. I stamp once, then again, shifting weight to disrupt what bothers me. When another horse approaches, I notice first by sound, then by scent. We do not greet with words. We greet with posture, with distance, with small shifts of the head and the angle of the body. I step toward the other horse carefully, not to challenge, but to confirm. We exchange breaths, each of us reading the other's presence. Then we stand side by side, grazing in quiet agreement. Herd animals settle when they are not alone. Even in safety, being together matters. Midday brings heat. The sun climbs and presses down. The air thickens. I move less because moving now would waste energy and increase heat inside my muscles. I stand in shade if it is available, or turn my body so the sun hits one side while the other cools. I lower my head again and rest in short pauses, eyes half closed, ears still turning. Then something changes. A sudden sound, fast, sharp. My head snaps up. A plastic sheet snaps in the wind near the fence. It flutters and cracks like a living thing. My body reacts before thought. Muscles tighten, my heart jumps. I step back. One step, two. I raise my head higher, nostrils flared, eyes wide. For a moment, the world narrows to that sound. I stand still. I do not run yet. Running costs energy and invites pursuit. I wait for more information. The human speaks softly and moves toward the noise. The sheet settles, the sound stops. Only then does my chest loosen. I breathe out. My ears resume their slower turning. I lower my head again, but I do not forget. I keep distance from that corner of the field for the rest of the day. By evening, the air cools. The light turns gold. The insects grow quieter. My body becomes calmer again. I return to hay and water. I chew slowly as the day fades, letting the steady rhythm ease my nerves. When night arrives, I stand in my shelter with my herd nearby, listening through darkness, resting in short pieces, always ready. And when the morning comes, I will lift my head again because the quiet will change. The night is never empty, it only hides what moves. I stand in the dark and feel the world through sound and scent. My eyes can see better than a human's in low light, but I do not rely on sight alone. My ears can rotate and focus on separate directions, pulling meaning from small noises. A distant owl, a rustle of grass, the soft shift of another horse changing weight. These are the threads of safety. I rest in pieces. Sometimes I doze while standing, one hind leg relaxed, the other bearing weight. My body locks joints so I can conserve muscle effort. When I need deeper sleep, I lie down, but only when the area feels secure and only for a short time. Lying down makes me slower to rise. My instincts do not forget that. Near midnight, the air cools further, dew gathers, the scent of soil becomes sharper. I inhale and hold the breath for a moment, testing what the wind brings. Nothing unfamiliar, that is enough. Before dawn, I shift again. My skin twitches at the touch of insects. I swish my tail softly. The world remains quiet, but quiet is something I watch carefully because true danger often arrives without sound. Then the first change comes, a new noise at the edge of my hearing, soft. Repeated, my head lifts, my ears lock forward. A dog barks somewhere far away. It is not close, but it echoes through the field. My muscles tighten, herd animals measure risk quickly, and we share that information without speaking. Another horse lifts its head, another turns slightly. Our bodies align toward the sound, our breathing becomes shorter, the barking fades, the wind changes. The scent does not follow, we release the tension slowly. Morning arrives with pale light and familiar footsteps. The human returns, predictable and calm. That calm matters. It signals that the world is still stable. I step into the day again. Feeding comes first. Hay, water, the steady chewing that keeps my belly settled. My digestive system works best when food arrives in small amounts throughout the day, not all at once. That is why I graze for hours. That is why my mouth is always moving when I am relaxed. After feeding, I am led out again. The field is different today because the wind is different. It carries new scents. A distant animal, fresh grass damp with dew. The faint trace of something that walked the perimeter during the night. I do not panic. I investigate carefully. I walk a few steps, head lowered, nostrils working. My hooves press into the ground with steady rhythm. I stop and listen. I move again. At midday, the sun returns with heat. I seek shade. I stand near other horses. We graze, we pause, we watch. Flies gather again, and I flick my skin and swish my tail. When the annoyance grows, I move to a breezier spot, because wind disrupts insects better than stamping. Then the key moment arrives. A sudden burst of sound near the gate. Metal rattling, a sharp clank, a quick movement, I freeze. My head lifts high, my neck stiffens, my chest tightens. My hooves hold the ground, I do not bolt yet. I wait, a human has dropped a tool near the fence. The object clattered and bounced. It sounded like something breaking free. My instincts treat sudden noise as danger because sudden noise often means pursuit. The human moves calmly, picks it up, and speaks in a low, steady tone. My ears register that tone. My body reads it as reassurance, but my muscles remain ready. Only when the sound stops completely do I shift my weight again. One step forward, slow, then another. Not because I have forgotten, but because I have decided. The day continues. By late afternoon, the heat loosens, the shadows lengthen. I graze more steadily again, my head low, my jaw moving in slow circles. The herd settles. Our bodies spread out, each of us keeping enough distance to avoid conflict, but close enough to feel connected. As evening returns, I move back to shelter. The human checks my coat, my legs, my hooves. I stand quietly while hands pass over me. These touch points matter. They are how injuries are found early. A horse hides weakness by instinct because weakness once invited predators. When humans check me, it allows safety without forcing me to reveal it. Night comes again. I stand with the herd nearby. I listen, I breathe, I rest in short pieces, always with one ear turned outward. Because my life is built on steady rhythms and quick decisions. And tomorrow, before the sun clears the horizon, I will lift my head and begin again.